Hello and welcome to Yo-taskitchen. Today I'm going to be making shortcakes. In this bowl I have 6 cups of fresh strawberries sliced. Some of them I cut in half, some of them I cut in thirds, depending on the size of it. And then I also added 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. And then I mixed it up, and I'm just going to let it sit until everything's done, and then I'm going to combine them. In this bowl I have 2½ cups flour, all-purpose flour, 1½ tablespoons of baking powder, and I have 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Now what I ended up doing is I sifted all of it together just to make sure that everything didn't have any clumps in it. Sometimes as the sugar gets a little damp, it has a few clumps in it, or the flour does the same thing. So I just wanted to make sure that it was a smooth batter. And then I have 2 eggs. I have a cup of milk and 2 cups of heavy cream. So I also have butter. I'm going to use 5 ounces of this butter. I'm going to cut it in chunks, and I'm going to add it to the flour mixture, and then slowly I'm going to incorporate all of it together. And when I get to that stage, I will come back and show you what. Hello and welcome to Yo-taskitchen. Before I go any further, I wanted to show you the butter. So the butter I used was 5 ounces. What I failed to say was that it was a frozen stick of butter. And the reason I took out a frozen stick of butter was because I wanted to grate it in here because you need to use cold butter for this recipe. So I have this right here, and I'm going to incorporate that little by little into the flour mixture, and then when I'm done I'll come back and I'll show you what that looks like. Hello and welcome to Yo-taskitchen. I wanted to show you the flour mixture. I used this, I don't even know what it's called, but anyway, it's for like when you're doing doughs or things like that, when you want to incorporate the butter. It kind of cuts it up, and it kind of blends it in with the flour. So this is what I have, and this is what I use. So anyway, look at the flour. As you can see, the butter is right in there, and because I grated it in, it's a little smaller than cubes, so it incorporated a little better. So what I want to do is I'm going to add the eggs in there, and I'm going to add them together, because you can always blend it one at a time. So I'm just kind of mixing them. And before I go any further with them, I'm going to add the milk, because it's going to make it a lot easier to kind of blend this whole thing together. So when I'm done blending it, I'll come back, I'll show you what that looks like. Thank you. Hello and welcome to Yo-taskitchen. I just wanted to show you my dough. This is the consistency it is right now. It looks nice, but it's a little soft, and I need to knead it a little bit. So I'm going to sprinkle it with a little flour. And I'm going to knead that in, and when I have rolled it out, I'll come back and I'll show you what that next step is. Thank you for watching. Hi and welcome back to Yo-taskitchen. Excuse my shirt. It seems like I get everything on it when I'm baking or eating. But anyway, I wanted to show you the dough because I thought, you know, if it's somebody who's watching who's not really familiar with baking, that I would be doing them an injustice if I don't show them the dough. So I already showed you the dough, what it looked like before I took it out of the bowl. You saw that it was kind of tacky and sticky, and I ended up adding a little flour to it so it's a little more consistent. So not a lot, it wasn't a lot of flour, maybe about a tablespoon, as well as what I put on the surface. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this dough in half. because I can't work with all of it all at once, especially with the small surface that I have to work with. So I'm just going to put the other one on the side, and here's the dough, and I am just going to use my fingers to kind of knead it a little bit, and also include flour if necessary. So I'm going to be doing the same thing with the other part of the dough. So you see how sticky it's getting? So just scrape it up and knead it. Okay, so here's my dough. I rolled it out with my rolling pin. You see the way it looks, right? It's flexible, it's not tacky, and what I'm going to do is I'm just using a little donut press. This is what you use to make donuts. I took the center out. Just blend it in, that little piece that was left, and I'm going to knead this too, and then I'll come back. But since you saw how I did it, you don't need to see how I'm going to do this because it's going to be exactly the same. But I'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you for watching Yota's Kitchen. Hello and welcome to Yota's Kitchen. I just wanted to show you my first batch. Now I used a small donut punch, I guess that's what you would call it. And so the rounds are not that big, but it doesn't matter because even though they're not that big, you can stack them up. So you don't have to cut these open. There you go. Look at that. They taste pretty good. So I'm going to just build them up. I didn't realize they were going to shrink that much. But anyway, doesn't matter. Still going to be good. And I just broke it. It doesn't matter either because I'll stack them. Okay, so here are my bottoms. I'm going to bring them to my neighbor. I'm going to put strawberries on top. These are the strawberries that I put in sugar. There you go. And then I have my whipped cream that I have in my little bag. And I can't see and look at the camera, so I'm going to just look at what I'm doing. Okay. Then I'm going to stack them up. And I knew it was going to break. I felt it. But it doesn't matter. Then I'm going to add another layer. And if they fall off, I'll just grab them and put them back on. As long as I can walk across the street with what I have, I am golden. I'm going to stack them. I'm going to cheat and use my hands. I know that I should have turned the tops around. They should have been facing upward, but it doesn't matter. Okay, thank you for watching Yota's Kitchen, and I will see you again when I'm doing the next segment. I did pretty good in that middle one, didn't I? Looks pretty. Thank you for watching Yota's Kitchen. Have a great day.